In this series, we're going to be building a fully functional LAPD squad car. Lights, sirens, radios, everything, all from scratch. Are you guys ready for this? Let's go. Here it is. This is a 2006 Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor. Let's check it out. So this is the reason why it's going to be an LAPD squad car. I know this thing works. This car used to be a fully functioning vehicle. It went literally from this to this. This is a crazy story how it ended up like this, but I'll tell you about it at the end of the video. I don't want to interrupt the flow. Jeez, look at this. Oh, there's weeds growing through it. Yes, it's been sitting here for a while. What in the world? And see all this? That is cement, because we have this cement company right over here that just sprawled overnight. I'm not even joking. Literally started pumping cement everywhere. This is going to be interesting. Yo, what the hell's up with these tires? Oh my goodness. Oh, that's new. All right, let's take a look inside. Oh, yeah. Wow. This is worse than I thought, but that's okay. I like a challenge. Oh no, it's a mosquito breeding ground. And why is the steering wheel gone? At least it's still here. Oh, some missing panels. Let's look under the hood. Ooh, that was hard. Okay, let's see. Looks like we're missing the mass airflow sensor. Missing a battery. Something is not right here. Oh, look, the belt is off. The connection here is missing. What the heck is this? All right, let's check the trunk. Look at this. The gun lock. This is a sweet looking gun lock. Hell yeah. All right, let's take a closer look at the equipment. This is a Federal Signal Smart Siren. So this is basically what controls all the lights and sirens and all that cop stuff. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is get that steering wheel on there, and then we're gonna start her up, if she even starts. Okay, so just gotta enter the stud into the shaft. There we go. Screw goes here. Now we gotta just simply start connecting all the connectors back. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. And I just popped the airbag in, and now we have a steering wheel. So let's go ahead and try and get her started. We're gonna need a filter, we're gonna need a battery, and we're gonna need to find a purge valve. Let's start with the purge valve. So the purge valve is part of the car's emission system. It lets the vapors from the gas tank into the engine to be burnt off. And without it, the car just wouldn't drive normally. Now let's add the missing mass airflow sensor. So this calculates how much air is coming in and then sends that information to the computer. And without it, the car wouldn't know how much fuel should be injected, and the car would run like crap. All right, so now we just need a battery. So I'm gonna head over to the local battery shop and get me a refurbished battery. Here it is. We have a 6 months of warranty. Okay, I think she's ready to wake up from hibernation. Here we go. I'm gonna prime it a few times. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. I don't know why I thought this was gonna have a hard time starting. Maybe because it's been sitting for years. It's clean, obviously dirty, but clean. Look at that. 105,000 miles, 6,000 idle hours. Not bad. All right, so now I'm just gonna temporarily switch the tires just so I can drive this car around and move it over by the water hose so I can clean this up. Small problem. The car is stuck in park, and I know exactly why. This is the reason why it's stuck in park. The brake light switch is missing. Let's go ahead and get that in there. Oh, yep, that fixes it. There we go. All right, let's move. Can't see diddly squat. Let's stick my head out the window. What the hell? Car died. Oh, great. Ran out of gas. All right, I'm gonna go get gas. Okay, I drove it down just a bit, but I could not see squat. So the next thing is I'm going to wash and try and clear this windshield. Okay, that is about as clean as it's gonna get with the soap and a rag. I'm gonna try and sanding it down with 8,000 grit sandpaper. Don't worry guys, this stuff is like made for windshields. All right, so now it's the next day and the windows came out very, very nice. There's still the little corners I need to get right here, but I can't roll down the window because I don't have the connections right there. So I'll get to that later. Okay, so as you guys can see, this thing is missing all kinds of panels, vents, switches, and bezels. Fortunately, I'm a cop car hoarder, so I got all the parts. Okay, so I found these two pieces right here. These things are pretty filthy, so I'm going to super clean them and add some vinyl restoring products. I'm also going to do the same for the interior because it's even nastier in here. Nice and scrubbed, every crook and cranny, including behind the vents, of course. And I'm even going to add my special Crown Rig scent. Alright, so the front bezel was looking a little rough, so I went ahead and sanded it down. I removed the switches, and now I'm gonna paint it with OEM style matching paint. This stuff looks fantastic and it lasts forever. I have affiliate links in the description where you can get all the products that I use. I did the same thing to the other side. Let's take a good look at the interior. Yes, it looks amazing. Here's the before and after. Okay, so now we're going to replace this front bumper because this one is broken. Got a better one right here. Let's get started. Broken piece of junk. Uh-oh. Party foul. Oh, yep, look at this. This is gotta be replaced too. That thing is stuck on there. Can't get the socket on it. Use friction to make it come off. Go for it. There it is. Out with the old, in with the new. Okay, so now it's time to add the bumper cover. After adding all the tabs and screws, the job is complete. So this was before and after. Okay, so the window motor was working really slow and then it completely gave out today. So we're going to replace it. First, we need to remove the door panel. Then we're gonna tap out all the rivets and then drill them out. Super annoying task. Now that everything is detached, we can remove the window and the broken motor. Here's the broken window motor. For some reason, it broke into like 3 pieces. That was the reason why all that rainwater got in. The window would get stuck halfway up sometimes. The new window motor is on its way. So in the meantime, we're gonna remove the side mirrors so I can refurbish them, and when she gets painted, it'll be just one less thing I have to cover up. So all we're gonna need is to remove the 3 nuts in the back with an 11mm socket. Then we unplug the power source and wiggle it out, and we are good to go. First thing I do is I completely wash and dry them. Then I tape up the mirror sides so we don't scratch them up. Then I sand the plastic with 400 grit sandpaper. Clean them again, dry them out, and spray them. I like the matte black trim paint. And now look, it's just like new. Here's the before and after. Okay, the new used window motor is here. We are gonna use nuts and bolts this time instead of rivets. It makes the job 10 times easier, especially if we ever need to fix it again. All right, here's the moment of truth, and it works. Hell yeah. Looks like the mosquitoes are not ready to be born yet. Too bad, because it's time to clean. Okay, I just got done super cleaning the floor. Now I need to find a rubber floor. Let's go check out the parts cars. I honestly couldn't even tell you what is happening in here. If you look closely, you'll see that there is a heavy duty floor, vinyl floor, and it looks from here like it's in good condition. Yeah, let's go ahead and remove all that. All right, here it is. I got some serious cleaning to do. Nothing that some degreaser and vinyl restoring products can't fix. Affiliate links in the description. By now you should know that an old paintbrush is your best friend when it comes to cleaning. After some drying out, she looks just like new. Let's go ahead and add her to the car. The floor has a certain shape, you just have to match it up, and don't forget to pass the electrical wires through. All right, so this thing gotta match up the hole right here. Here's a quick tip for you Crown Vic owners. If you guys look behind this pillar right here, check to see if this is disconnected. Most police departments disconnect this part. So if you can't roll down your back window, this is why. All right, so we screwed down and tucked in the rubber floor all around. Now this is starting to look like a car. So when I first got the car, it was driving, fully equipped, intact, with seats and extra goodies. But my not so smart security boy accidentally parked the car in the parts car section. So during my 7-day vacation, the poor thing was getting stripped down. And that's how it ended up like this. The poor thing. Anyway, 5 p.m. and it's getting dark already. But I can't let that stop me from cleaning out my engine bay. First, we start with a 1-to-1 mix of degreaser and water. You want to make sure to get every little crook and cranny. Use an old paintbrush for best results. Now it's time for the power washer. Never use a water hose for this. The power washer is mostly air. There's just enough water in here and it won't mess up your electronics. Now check out the result. What a huge difference. Here's the before and after. This looks like an aftermarket intake manifold, which I will eventually switch over to an OEM one. Since I'm under the hood, I might as well change the spark plugs. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna clean out the throttle body and inspect anything that might be damaged. I'm not gonna bore you with the whole process. I do have other videos explaining this more in depth. Okay, so now I'm sanding down the whole body and prepping the car for paint. The very next day, on paint day,
windy weather that's been hitting a little further north in Sacramento.
Brad Bell felt the full power of the storm, fierce winds, and relentless rain.
And the whole area was all lit up.
Yeah, all my paint job dreams have been crushed. A freak storm came out of nowhere here in California, and it's supposed to be storming all week long. No, my grand finale for episode 1 is ruined. So instead, I'm gonna show you guys the LAPD project decals that came in the mail. I found a sticker company to make me the full replica, and here they are. Oh, this makes me so excited. Can you imagine the LAPD project cruising around with the Vegas project together? I cannot wait. This is going to be sick. And if you're excited for the LAPD project, make sure you hit that like button. Leave a comment, tell me where you're from. Let's show the algorithm you like real content creators instead of that AI slop videos. Become a channel member. Share my video. See you guys in the next one. Peace.